everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Whitney and this is Tomcat Stitchery. I got that all out of order. Today we have our final video for our Huxley bag sew along. We are finishing things up. It's not going to take us very long. I had to fight the machine a little bit, but not so much because of the layers, more because of bolt getting in the way of, I was using a walking foot, which is a pretty wide presser foot. But we've got it all figured out, and I want to show you my bag before we get started. So we are assembling the flap. It snaps down here. I just have it open. I've already put stuff into it. We've got our big technology pocket here. There's another pocket on this, or that's the technology pocket, another pocket here. So yeah, I've got my fun little lining that's in there. That's our straps for our flap, and then we have our convertible straps that are back here. So you can take this whole piece off just by unsnapping these right here, and then this can fit onto a bike. And then there's a way to do I guess a crossbody bag. You would just, she has instructions. There's different ways you can wear it. Although I think I will almost always wear this as a backpack. It is just so cute. And this is my skirt that I salvaged, and then I've got some, let me snap this shut. I've got some leather that was in my stash, just a remnant that I bought. Anyway. There we have it. It's so cute. So anyway, we're gonna finish it up today, and then, let's see, next week, I think we're starting t-shirt week next week. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this sew along. So I'm not gonna have, I don't think I'll have a little breather video like I sometimes do between sew alongs. I think it's just gonna be t-shirt week next week. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this. Leave any comments you have down below or questions, and I will see you guys on Tuesday, and then again on Friday. But stay tuned till the end of the video, and I will model the bag for you then. All right, see you later. Okay, so it's time to finish our bag today, and I don't know that it's going to take us all that long. So you should have 5 separate pieces. You should have your strap piece, your convertible strap piece. We're going to do lining in a second. You should have your back piece, or sorry, your front piece, your back piece, your flap, and then the lining. I made a boo-boo and I sewed up the bottom. There's the seam in the very bottom of the bag. We shouldn't have sewn it all the way closed. So I just went and reinforced on either side and left about a 6-inch gap, because we have to pull our bag through that. So, and I backstitched so that it wouldn't rip. So we should have a hole in the bottom of our lining, because that's how we're going to pull our bag through. Okay. Okay, so you will need to fix that part of the bag. You'll need to have a hole there. Okay, we're going to start assembling our bag. This is very exciting. We are first going to sew our front and back together. So we're going to do right sides together. We're putting our flap and lining and stuff out of the way for right now. So we've got our back and our front. So we're going to put them right sides together and sew at 1/2 inch right across this bottom seam. So we're going to do that real quick. Again, size 18 leather needle, walking foot, regular thread in my bobbin, heavy thread in the top. I'm sewing with a 4mm stitch length. Okay, now once those two are sewn, for durability, she wants you to open it out and kind of finger press this seam allowance open, and we're going to top stitch from the right side, either side of this seam, to keep, number one, that seam allowance flat, but also for strength. So I'm going about 1/4 inch away from the seam line on both sides. You're just going to want to make sure that that's all nice and open as you go. You may have quite a bit of bulk to the right of your needle, so just go slow. So then the bottom seam of your bag will look like that. Okay, next step. Okay, now we're gonna put it back right sides together again. And now we're gonna sew each side at 1/2 inch. Now you've got some bulk, so we're gonna wanna go slow, especially over some of these, seams. And then we've got, the handle or the strap that's up here, not the handle, the back strap thing that's here. So we're just gonna go slow, but we're gonna sew both sides. And of course we're gonna stop here at the bottom, just like with the lining. We're gonna stop, because we'll do the same thing with the corners that we did with the lining. So each side at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, I got the sides done. My machine's about done with all this heavy duty leather, I think. Okay, all your things trimmed. Next, we're gonna do our corners. This should be much easier because it's just the red leather I'm gonna be sewing through. Yeah, okay. So now we've got these corners, so it's the same thing. We're gonna kind of finger press this seam allowance open, at least there at the bottom. And then we're gonna take, this is the bottom of the bag, and we're gonna line those seam allowances up like so. Just like we did with the lining. And I'm just gonna sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance right across that corner, and I'm gonna do that on both sides. All right, I think I might have had my my thread on my machine on wrong, which is why I was getting the nylon was knotting, like it was getting stripped kind of, and then causing a knot and then causing issues when I would go through the thick parts, and I think I figured out why, so user error. Okay, now we get to turn our bag right side out. This is so much fun. Okay, so now we have these gorgeous squared off corners. Oh, just beautiful. My gosh, this is so cute. Okay, so there's the back of our bag and there's the front of our bag. So now what we're going to do is we're going to baste, let's see. I am going to get these out of the way, so I'm just gonna go ahead and snap these closed. Maybe. Just because we are going to be messing around with the lining and stuff, and I want extra layers out of the way. Okay, so I've got that, and that's to put on your bike. You could snap those around your bike. Okay, so now we're going to take right sides together. We're gonna take our flap, and this is the back of our bag. That's could be kind of confusing. And we're gonna line up. There should be a center notch on both pieces. Okay, hold on. I've got to make a center notch on my back piece here. Okay. I don't know what happened to my notch. Okay, right sides together. I'm going to, with the back of the bag, match up my center notch like so. And you could definitely clip this in place if you want, because it gets really hard with all of this bulk right here. And since we can't pen, I mean, you could, but I wouldn't. So anyway, we're gonna base this at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So the lid is right side to the back of the bag. So I'm just gonna sew that very carefully at a 1/4 inch. And I'm actually gonna use a pen just to pen my center notch, because I like to live life on the edge. Also note, if you do use a pen on your leather, it's pretty much shot after it's been used once, so throw it away. I'm having a really hard time getting my presser foot because it's these straps here are kind of pushing against this big bulky presser foot. But I don't want to take my walking foot off because I'm afraid I'll have a horrible time with the suede. So I think I'm going to turn the bag back inside out. Still right sides together. And see if sewing with the lid on top might be better. Okay, so I've got it, the lid tucked inside. The bag is now inside out. So I'm gonna try and do it this way. So those straps will be underneath against the feed dogs, and maybe that'll help keep them pushed down. Okay, that was a very painful basting process. And here's the problem. It's these straps that are bubbling up, and they won't be a problem once everything is sewn, but they are just getting in the way of my presser foot. So, anyway, that is the issue. Okay, So this is what it's gonna look like when it's all done. I'm so very excited. And those get snapped. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I am dying right now. Okay, but first we've got to insert our lining. We're almost there. Okay, so our lining is inside out. We've got our hole in the bottom. Don't forget you need the hole in the bottom. And now we're going to put our bag inside of our lining, and we want to make sure our technology bag, which is the one with this is going to be fun, is towards the back of the bag. And we need to open this back up, so you need to flap the flap back open. But we're going to put this all inside our lining. Okay. Okay, now we're going to match our seam lines. So our bag is right side out, but it's inside of our lining that is inside. Our bag is right side out, our bag is inside out. Phew, hope that makes sense. Okay, and I'm going to sew with my lining on the bottom because it is a lighter weight fabric, and hopefully I can get a lot of this under control. I may just have to go nuts with the hammer. I'm not sure, especially when we get to the tab for the technology pocket. We're just gonna go slow, use our hand wheel. If I have to hand wheel the whole stinking thing, we will. I hope that's not the case. But I'm actually gonna start with the front because that's gonna be easy. We'll sew that first, and then we'll get to the back part where we have the lid and all the bulk. And maybe just go ahead and finger press your seam allowances open here at the top when you're sewing those. Okay, so I'm just gonna sew it 1/2 of an inch all the way around the top. Okay, so I did it off camera, but I just used regular thread in both the top and the bobbin for this part, and it worked absolutely beautifully. I was having issues with the top stitching thread. It is just, my machine all of a sudden is just not liking it very much. Anyway, we're almost done. So now we have this little bundle. So now we're going to birth, as Maddie says here, birth our bag through this hole. So you're wanting to be very careful. We're just gonna pull everything through the hole in the lining. Very, very carefully. Woo! All right. Oh, this is exciting. Some random threads here. Okay, oh my gosh, this is very exciting. Okay, before we tuck our lining into the inside of our bag, we wanna, it's just gonna be coming out the middle of the bag here. We wanna go, and I'm gonna go back over to my other machine because it's got regular thread in it, but we're just gonna tuck in the seam allowances there at the bottom and just sew that up. We're just gonna edge stitch really close to the fold because it's the bottom of the bag. No one's gonna see it. You could slip stitch it if that is really your jam. I'm not going to. So I'm really quickly going to go edge stitch this and then stuff my lining into the bag, and I'll be right back. Okay, the last step. So we've got my technology bag. Oh, I'm so excited about this. The last step is, we don't really have to worry about anything rolling out back here because you've got the flap. Thank goodness. I'm so tired of trying to stitch around all of that. But I am going to top stitch the front just to keep the lining in place. So I'm going to really quickly go over to the machine, cross my fingers, and top stitch the front here. Oh, that's the technology thing. And press the front from one side to the other. Okay. Success! Yay! Okay, what I ended up doing, the problem is that the bag opening, just all this stuff's getting in the way of all the presser feet and all that kind of stuff because there's just a lot of bulk that now has to go under the machine. So I took my walking foot off, mostly because now the lining is against the feed dogs, and so that's, you know, should slide through just fine. What is going on here? And then I put a Teflon foot on top just in case, although you'd probably be fine with a regular foot. Okay, so there we have it. My bag, your bag, our bags are done, and I can put my backpack straps on. So these in the back can be used for the bike, to go around a bike, or we put our rings, them right through our rings. I think I'm putting that on right. Make sure you snap it on the same one on both sides. Yay! And then we can snap it closed. Is that right? Oh no, I put that on backwards. Okay, you gotta be smarter than the bag. Okay, so we need it that way. Yes, that way. Okay, there we go. So then we've got this on, and then our straps, and you can, you know, of course, lengthen your straps, but our little frog clips here, or lobster claw things, hook on to the bottom like that. And they swivel, so that's nice. And then we've got our backpack bag. Guys, this was so much fun. I don't make a lot of bags, but I am over the moon with this one. So I hope that you guys had a good experience and that you enjoyed this as much as I did. And yeah, let me know in the comments below. Okay, next I'm gonna have a clip of me actually wearing it, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.